Good day, my people on YouTube. I hope you're doing well wherever you are. So today I'll be talking about liberation of the mind. We as the people, if you want to be free, we need to free ourselves. We need to free ourselves mentally, because that's how our oppressors got us, right? Our oppressors got us mentally. It was never going for me. It was never going to be physical, because if it was going to be physical, it was going to be hard for them to beat people all the time, to beat people all the time and do all of this stuff all the time. So it was going to be tough for them, so all they had to do was to get us mentally. That's what I see today in our society. Our people are so mentally enslavement that they do not know whether they are free or not. Some people out there, they actually think that they are free, but in actuality nobody is free except those who know what's going on, right? So today I'll be talking about liberation of the mind. First thing we need to realize is that we are not our mind. Our mind is just a tool that we use. So many people are attached to the mind. So many people think that they actually the mind. No, but you and the mind is two different things. The mind is something that you use, to think, to realize things, to acknowledge things, to see things. Basically, the mind is just something that you use. It's not you. It was given it by the creator so that you can use it. So many people out there, they don't use the mind, bro. We need to start learning how to use our mind. We need to start learning how to think for ourselves, firstly. So firstly, we need to realize that we are not the mind, boy. We are not the mind, we are the observer of the mind. So like sometimes you'll be thinking like, sometimes you'll be thinking like, why was I thinking that thought? Who realized that you were thinking that thought? Is it you or the mind? That's where so many people go wrong. That's where we as the people we go wrong. We don't know how to identify ourselves with the correctness that we need to identify ourselves with. So like some people, they be thinking about negative thoughts, depressive thoughts, doubt, fear, all of those things, and thinking that is them, when in actuality it's just the ego. Something has influenced the ego or the mind to think those thoughts. Sometimes we'll be doing things or thinking things, thinking that we want to do them. No, most of the time we don't want to do those things. Most of the time we are not thinking those things. Somebody said it and now you think it, so now you think it's you. You know what I mean, bro? So like first of all, we need to realize that we need to free our mind. We need to free ourselves from the imprisonment and the trapment of the mind, so that we can be free. Everything that is happening within us and outside of us, it's because of what we feed our mind. We feed our like focusing on negative things. If you focus on negative things, that's what you're gonna feed your mind. If you focus on positive things, that's what you're gonna feed your mind. So many people, they wake up every day feeding their mind the same negative things that they were feeding their minds 2 days ago, 5 days ago. So many people are living in the past. When they wake up on a new day, in a new day, they don't see something new, man. And they see is what went wrong, or what will go wrong. So like everything that's happening within us and outside of us. So like what's happening on the outside of us is the effect of what's happening inside of us, if you know what I mean, right? So like if you focus on negative shit, you will see only negative shit in your reality. That's what I'm on about. If you focus on negative shit, you will see negative shit in your reality. But now if you focus on positive things, you will only see beautiful and positive things in your reality. So like we as the people, we need to free ourselves mentally, because that's how our oppressors got us, right? They got us mentally. So many people out there, they think that they're free. They think that the world is meant to be like this. No, nigga, the world is not meant to be like this. Somebody's idea that the world is like this. We are not the mind, we are observer. We are the observer of the mind. We are the watcher of the thinker. So like if you want to find peace, right, this is what I do. If you want to find peace, like if you find yourself drifting into the past or into the future or something like that, just realize where you are, bro. Just watch those thoughts. Don't be attached to them. Just watch those thoughts. Why am I thinking about the past when I'm in the future, when I'm in the present? Why am I thinking about the future when I'm in the present? There's nothing that is more scarier than the unknown. There's some people out there that fear the unknown more than death, and there's so many people out there that fear death, so there's so many people that are afraid of the unknown. I also catch myself sometimes being afraid of the unknown, like thinking about, damn, what will happen 5 years or maybe 2 years from now? Where will I be? Then I'll be anxious and scared and afraid, like, damn, I hope shouldn't go wrong, stuff like that. And then when I realize and become present again and find my peace again, and then I realize that I'm in the present moment. All of those shit that I'm thinking about right now hasn't even happened and probably will never happen. So like that's why most of the people are scared or afraid of the unknown, because they can't control the unknown. Man. Nobody can control the unknown. Nobody can control what they do not know what will happen. You can only predict and think, but you don't actually know that will happen or what will happen. So now there's so many people that are afraid of the unknown. Why? Because they do not want to stay in the present moment. So many people run away from the present moment and go somewhere in the future or in the past, while we should be focusing on the present moment, because that's where everything is, bro. That's where you are right now. You are where you are right now, bro. If you're sitting down or if you're eating off or if you're watching this video, you are where you are. There's nothing you can do about it. That's where you are. That's fine, and that's where you are. So many times we get attached to our emotions. Many times we get attached to our negative thoughts, our negative emotions, our negative habits, thinking that is the way that we are. In actuality, that's not the way that we are, or things are. Each and every moment, bro, you can make a decision to change yourself. You can make a decision to change those habits. Even if it's gonna be hard, but you can make a decision to change those habits. You can make a decision to step out of those negative emotions or those negative thoughts and into positive things, into positive emotions and thoughts, bro. We have a decision. The mind is the tool. You do not have to get attached to what the mind is thinking, bro. So when it comes to addictions, right, that's what I realized lately. Like when it comes to addictions, you do some like addiction. There's so many addictions right there, and some of them you don't want to do them, right? So like if you do something that you don't want to do, like it happens in a minute or in seconds, bro, and then after that, that feeling is gone. So now in that minute or in those few seconds, you can do something stupid. You can do something stupid, and after you do that something that is stupid, bro, and then a couple minutes later, you ask yourselves like, why was I doing that? Like, right now, I don't feel like I wanna do that, but back then or those couple of minutes ago, I did that shit, and then I realized like, damn, we do stupid stuff in few minutes, in seconds, bro, and then after we do that same stupid stuff, we step out of that thought habit, and then we ask ourselves like, what the fuck was I just doing? Why would I do that? So like our addictions are very smart and sneaky. They get us when we get attached to whatever that we don't wanna do, but we end up doing. If you get me right, let me just say like porn addiction, or let me just say that you don't want to watch porn, but you find yourself watching porn, and then minutes later after you watch that video, you ask yourself like, why was I watching that shit? Like do you get me, bro? Like why was I watching that shit? Right now I don't feel like I should have watched it, but those couple of minutes before you watched it, because we got attached to the thoughts and the emotions of how will it feel after I watch it, or how will it make me feel after I watch it and stuff like that. So like that's where I find it very 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 interesting that we need to detach from our thoughts. I'm not saying it's gonna be easy, but like that's why I find it like we need to detach from our thoughts, right? Because we get attached to things that happens in a few minutes, and then after that we regret the shit that we did. Like if you feel me, I hope you understand me, right? So like, yeah, man, we need to like many times we get influenced, but we get influenced by the shit that we hear, the things that we watch, see, and all of those stuff. So like now we think that it's us, but nigga, it's not us. We were just influenced by something that we saw on TV, or we saw somewhere, or somebody told us, or somebody said it. So now we think it's us because we got influenced. Remember, the mind is always looking for external shit. The mind is always looking for external things to feel fulfilled, if you know what I mean, right? So many people do drugs out there to feel fulfilled, and at the end of the day, you low again. So many people out there, we smoke, and then after we smoke, we get high, and then after that, we get low again. It's because the mind is seeking something that is external to free it, or for fulfillment, or for happiness, while we should be looking within from the start, if you know what I mean. So like, all we need to realize is that we need to realize that we are not our mind. The mind is just a tool, and we need to know that in essence we are eternal beings that is limitless and multi-dimensional, bro. We are eternal beings that is multi-dimensional and limitless, bro. We're not this physical shit. So many people, including us out there, we want to satisfy this physical body, realizing that not realizing that we are not this physical body, bro. We are eternal beings having a human experience. You know, we are eternal beings that are limitless and multidimensional. We are everywhere simultaneously, bro. If you know what I mean, right? So like, we need to start separating ourselves from the ego and the being. We need to start being in being, and not living in ego. No, we need to start living more in being and less in ego, because like ego is not really you. Ego will mislead you, because ego can get influenced easily by addictions, by things, by pleasures and all of those stuff. So like, we need to separate ourselves from the mind. Not realizing we need to realize that we are not the mind. I need to say this: we are not the mind. The mind is just a tool, bro. But then we've been brought up to think that we are the mind. That's why so many people are confused and lost, because of the society, how the society is being ran, if you know what I mean, right? So like, we need to start learning how to separate ourselves from the thoughts and the emotions that no longer serve us, if you know what I mean, right? We need to start separating ourselves from those negative thoughts, those negative emotions, those negative habits, and make a decision to do something different, to make a decision to do something that will save you, bro. I'm not saying that it's gonna be easy, or you're just gonna wake up and no longer do those stuff or think those stuff, bro. It's a day by day shit. So like, all we need to start doing is to learn to separate ourselves from the influences that come from the outside. I'm not saying it's gonna be easy, but we just need to know how to separate ourselves from those negative emotions and those negative thoughts, because we are not the mind. Sometimes when shit don't go our way, we fall back into our negative habits. Just because something didn't go your way, now you feel better about it. That's how the devil gets us. When you feel low and bad about stuff, and then now your mind starts creating scenarios and things and pleasures that you can do to free yourself. When you're not freeing yourself, bro. You can only free yourself when you're not detached to the mind. That's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm trying to free myself by not getting attached to the mind. I'm not saying I'm gonna stop doing certain stuff that I'm doing, or that I'm addicted to, or that I like doing. I'm just saying that I'm gonna be aware of them. Once I become consciously aware of them, they don't have as much power as they did when they were hidden in the subconscious mind. So like, all of this stuff that I'm saying in this video, right, it's not gonna be easy, because our oppressors have made sure that there is obstacles and disturbances to occupy the mind, which is the ego. These people that are very clever, they've made so many obstacles and disturbances and distractions, so that the mind is always occupied, so that people can't find peace of mind. We wake up, we go to school, we go to work, we have to go somewhere. We have to be busy. How can you find peace when you're always all over the place, bro? How can you find peace when you're always thinking about what your boss wants you to do, what the school wants you to learn about, so that you can write a test about it tomorrow, bro? So like, there's so many things that have been created just to enslave the mind. If you got the mind, you got the people. If you have the mind, you have the people. That's how it is. Everything starts from the mind. Everything that we see, how we feel about ourselves and others, is all from the mind. It's all happening in the mind, bro. So like, I wanna go on this journey with you guys to free our minds, to liberate our minds, for the liberation of our minds, because that's the only way we're gonna be free, by freeing our mind and knowing who we are. And you can only know who we are by liberating our mind, bro. So I hope that you found this video helpful, even though it was all over the place and I was stuttering and stuff. But please, I hope that you found it helpful and useful. And thank you for watching my video, man. I really, really appreciate it a lot. Thank you, man. And woman and girl, I'm out. Peace.